Hello, guys. Today, I would like to talk about top 5 skills that I believe every data science professional need to know and need to master to really be able to stay relevant in the age of AI or in the era of AI. Okay, so these are just skills that I've gathered from my own experience that I believe every data science professional need to master so that they can stay relevant in the era of AI. And this is very important because AI is doing a lot of things. Many years ago, for you to be a good data scientist, you have to master a lot of coding skills like Python, or maybe R. You had to actually also master several, data cleansing, data manipulation, data visualization skills. Those skills are still relevant. You need to master them and understand them very well. But those are not the ones that I believe will make you stay relevant in the age of AI. And so stay with me. Number one skill that I think every data science professional must know is curiosity. Okay, curiosity. Now, curiosity is not a hard skill, it's a soft skill. But you see, in this era, you can't actually just count on, okay, yeah, because I'm good at writing Python code. Well, before you know it, ChatGPT has written the code for you, or Cloud have actually written the code for you. And so the best way to remain relevant is to stay curious. Now, what do I mean by curiosity? Curiosity basically means, the drive to actually want to know the why behind things are happening, right? So if you see some data, understand why. If you hear some news, try to understand why is this happening, especially if it is in your industry or in your business domain. So everything that you are working on, if you see a data, if a stakeholder wants to solve a problem, you want to understand the why. What would this solve? And then if they give you the first answer, probe in again, try to understand why. Look, if I'm hiring a data scientist, one of the key things I look for is the natural curiosity of the person. Like, how do they care about the things around them? How do they want to actually understand, the reason behind things occur? Because it is the curiosity that will help you uncover insights that other people, are not able to see. Okay, so curiosity is number one skill set that every data scientists must actually practice and actually perfect so that they can become very relevant in the age of AI. Okay, that's number one. Number two is what I am calling problem solving skills with statistics and machine learning methods. Okay, problem solving skills with statistics and machine learning methods. So you see, nowadays, if you actually know the method that you need to use to solve a particular problem, you can easily use AI tools or just go to Google, go to Stack Overflow. You can go and look for codes to actually solve the problem. But you actually need to know how to think about solving the problem first. Okay, and again, what do I mean by actually solving the problem? So in many cases, the business stakeholders will not say, hey, go and run a regression for me, or hey, Delali, I have a problem, here's my data, go and run some classification model for me to be able to separate the good customers from the bad customers. The business stakeholders will not tell you that. It is your job to actually understand the problem and then think about which of your statistical methods or machine learning algorithms can solve the problem, right? So what I recommend for you all to really learn is like understand various statistical methods and various statistical tools and also machine learning methods and tools, and really understand which situations do they actually come handy. Okay, which situations and which problem do they solve? So for example, it's not every problem that will be solved by statistical hypothesis testing, right? So it's important that you understand different types of hypothesis testing. In some cases you need a t-test, in other cases you need a chi-square test, in other cases you need ANOVA or analysis of variance. In some cases you just need a simple test of proportion. Like, you have to really understand those methods and actually understand the cases by which they are used. Okay, maybe you need a recommendation system. Maybe this actually is a classification system, a problem that needs some random forest method or some gradient boosting method. Or maybe this actually is a problem that actually just need basic clustering or segmentation, right? Or you just need to actually analyze some descriptive statistics and add some locational type of analysis like quartiles, percentiles, and things like that. So you have to understand various statistical concepts and how to actually use them and which situations that they are useful for. Okay, that's the other one that it's important that you know it, so that when people are having conversation with you, you can probe in and understand the problem and then apply your statistical or machine learning knowledge on the problem, right? Of course, before you apply all of those, you have to understand the data first. You have to really go and explore the data. Even that alone is a skill set that you must know. Okay, so first I talk about curiosity. Combine curiosity with problem solving and foundational knowledge with statistics, statistical methods or basic machine learning methods will actually help you really go far and remain relevant in the age of what? AI. Number 3 is prompt design, prompt engineering, and more importantly, how to evaluate the output of a large language model. Because guess what? Nowadays, you can actually write prompt. In fact, non-data folks are writing prompts and getting answers. The sad situation that there are some data folks that are still, always just doing their SQL or SQL, but have no idea how to actually write prompt and let prompts answer or do work for them. Look, you cannot say you are a data scientist and you are good in writing Python code, you are good in writing SQL or SQL. Therefore, you are not making the effort to understand prompt design or how to use ChatGPT or whether it is Google Gemini. Like, you must make sure you know how to use these tools. Now, you as a data person, you have a lot of advantage, over someone who is not the data person and is just like asking the chatbot or GPT question, right? Here's some of the things you can do. Because you are a data person, you will be able to, test many different use cases and make sure that before you say your prompt is fully constructed, you've tested all the possible use cases or most of the possible use cases. Because you have a data sense, you have the curiosity, you have your data problem solving skill. Okay, so I want to encourage all of you to also learn how to actually deal with prompt engineering, and more importantly, how to evaluate the output of large language models. You see, when we say LLM evaluation, what do we mean? Well, what we mean by LLM evaluation is a way of assessing whether or not the AI model, and by AI model here I mean specifically a large language model, it's a way of making sure that the output produced by that model is working as desired. Okay, it's making sure that there is no hallucination. It's making sure that the answers provided by the chatbot are relevant to your business use case. It's making sure that the answer is correct. And even if you are using a method like what we call RAG or retrieval augmented generation, if you are doing that kind of thing, how do you make sure that your answers are well grounded and there's no hallucination? You are measuring recall and precision and all of that. So it's important that you actually understand that. Look, there are some data scientists I know right now, over 70% of their work is all about evaluating how a large language model is performing. So to me, that's the number 3 skill I think you must know in order to be relevant in the age of AI. Okay, number 4 is that you must go deep in the business domain that you are working in. Now, many times when we talk about business domain, people just take this at the very surface level. Okay, now what I mean by business domain is, if you are working in retail, make sure you understand retail in general. Make sure you understand retail deeply. Go to the retail stores, talk with the retail operation teams, understand their job, understand what keeps them up at night. Understand how they make money. By understanding the various processes of your business domain, you will be thinking through what kind of data are they collecting at every step of the business operations. And that's what will help you start thinking, okay, combine that with your business knowledge and your data knowledge. How can you actually bring data out to actually make their systems and their processes better? Okay, so if you don't really understand the business domain, then you always have to wait for them to ask you questions before you can actually answer. And sometimes, because they also don't really understand data very well, they don't know what questions to ask, because they don't really know what is possible, they don't know what is available. Please, this one is very, very important. For me, for example, I work in retail for a long time, so now my business domain here is retail. I know a lot about retail. I know, how retail plans, how they buy product, how they manufacture product. I know things about, how they arrange product in their stores, how they actually try to do markdowns, product life cycle, how they market products, what are some of the things that they measure, just even their supply chain, transportation of the product from one place to the other. I'm in retail, so I try to understand these things very well. That way I can think about what kind of data are they collecting at every stage of the retail process. So if you work in a bank, make sure you understand the banking process. Make sure you understand how they manage risk. Make sure you understand, how they set up interest rates. Like, try to understand deeply the business domain. Okay, if you work in healthcare, for example, just don't be a data person. Make sure you understand what are they trying to improve. Maybe patient outcome, that's what they're trying to improve. Maybe they want to make sure that diseases do not reoccur or patients do not revisit after they were discharged. Like, just make sure you understand the business domain. Okay, think as if your job is not data, but your job is like solving the business problem in the domain. To me, that's the part of the problem where ChatGPT cannot really take that over, especially if you combine that business domain knowledge with your data skills. Okay, so that's number 4. Okay, so far I've talked about what 4 top skills that I believe you need to remain relevant in the age of AI. Number 1, I talked about curiosity. I talked about number 2, problem solving, using statistical and machine learning methods, really understanding the concept and how it's applied. Number 3, I talk about understanding how to write prompts, how to design them effectively, how to test the prompt, make sure that they are working, and how to actually evaluate the output of the large language model. Okay, and then number 4, I talked about the deep business or domain knowledge. And finally, effective communication. Effective communication. Now, why is effective communication very important nowadays? Look, with the power of AI and large language models, a lot of codes are now being written by these systems. If you use GitHub Copilot, a lot of codes are written by that. If you use even ChatGPT, if you know how to actually ask questions GPT very well, a lot of your SQL or SQL codes can be written by GPT. A lot of the things that you want to do in terms of like actual hard coding, GPT is doing it now. Because of that, things are moving very fast. Something that actually takes 1 week to do, maybe you can get the code ready in 5 minutes or even in 20 minutes. And now you need to be able to communicate very quickly your findings and communicate in a very effective way, right? So because things are moving very fast, stakeholders are also asking you a lot of questions very rapidly. You need communication skills to even be able to negotiate with them to say, hey, I need more time to actually dive into this, or even communicate your findings with them in a way that will actually make sense. Okay, so actually, this is something that I was taught very early in life, that in general, people who actually know how to communicate, their life is actually much better than those who don't know how to communicate. Holding other things constant, okay? Holding other things constant, people who know how to communicate have a general better life than those who don't know how to communicate. And so I have been trying to learn and improve on my communication skills, and I am actually encouraging you to do the same, particularly in this age of AI. If you want to remain relevant as a data scientist, you can't take all your pride in, okay, I'm good at coding and this and that, or I'm the technical guy in the room. Please stop that. What I'm telling you should be doing now is try to make sure that you have solid curiosity, you can solve problems, and you understand various methodologies and their various use cases. Make sure you know how to write prompts and evaluate prompts. Make sure you have deep domain knowledge, and make sure that you can package things well, you can present well, you can have a strong communication, you can negotiate well, and with all of this, you'll be able to build trust and empathy, with your business stakeholders. And this is the only way. GPT cannot replace you, because guess what? GPT doesn't have any life. GPT doesn't have any trust, really. GPT doesn't have any empathy. GPT cannot actually probe into questions or negotiate, but you can do that, right? So these are the things that are very important nowadays for you to stay relevant in the age of AI. I hope this is helpful. And again, if you're actually, trying to understand, okay, what I thought is this guy talking about? Well, I've done videos that talked about data science and what it is. I'm going to link that video for you. If you are just watching this video for the first time, I will say go back and watch when I discuss data science, what actually it is. But the most important topic for today is the top 5 skills that I believe you need as a data scientist to remain relevant in the age of AI. I hope this is useful to you, and we will talk later. Bye-bye.